Hey guys, thanks for coming back. I just saw Carrie starring Julianne Moore and Chloe Grace Moretz. And just to let you guys know, I actually did go to like the homecomings and my junior and my senior prom. And for one of those, I actually asked the principal's daughter, and she said yes. And when we were taking pictures at her house, her dad like offered to put my corsage on, and when he took me over to the corner to do it, when he was about to like stick the needle like 2 inches from my heart, he asked me this simple question. Victor, who is the best principal at Allman High School? And of course, I replied, "You are, Mr. Latundra. You are." That's right. With a K review.
It's VIC?
No, it's with a K.
Oh.
So first off, I have seen a little bit of the original Carrie movie. I also saw Carrie 2, The Rage, that came out in 1999. All three of these movies do have the similar storyline of Carrie finding out she has those telekinetic powers, and she decides, since her classmates are picking on her so much, that she's gonna turn into super ultra bitch and make those fuckers pay. A little too much rage there, I think. Now, the director of Carrie is Kimberly Pierce, and she's directed like a couple of other movies over the years, but the most notable ones are Boys Don't Cry, which came out in 1999, and she also directed Stop Loss a few years ago. And by all accounts, those movies did garner a lot of awards, and they got a lot of stuff, and she's a really good female director. And just as a small side note / question to you guys, the viewers, I want you guys to do me a favor. I want you guys to name 5 female directors, just off the top of your head right now. Just pause this and name me 5 female directors. I can name 3 off the top of my head. Catherine Bigelow, Penny Marshall, So when I saw that Pierce was going to be the director for this movie, I was really excited because I wanted to see if she was going to bring like a whole new type of depth to the Carrie character and maybe add some more blood and guts at the end and, really make it awesome. And she did, kinda, sorta, with a twist. The twist that I'm talking about is that this movie doesn't have a lot of the satire the one had back in the 70s. A lot of the cast really doesn't, make sarcastic remarks or anything like that, because in the 70s one, they really had this kind of long-running gag with like the principal mispronouncing your name and all those other things where like it had that 70s type sense of humor. In this Carrie, they kind of took all of that out. And that's not a bad thing. It actually did make the movie more dramatic, and it added a lot of cool elements into it. But as I was watching the movie, there was like this nagging weird feeling in the back of my head, and I didn't know what it was until I left the movie. And what it was that Chloe Grace Moretz, I feel, was kind of miscast in this movie as Carrie White. Only because Carrie White, back in the 70s, she was like this kind of homely looking girl, and that's probably going to earn me some comments for that comment. Just let me explain this. Just hold on a second. Back in the 70s, the actress who played Carrie kind of had this downed look to her. She wasn't really pretty, really gorgeous. She looked really nice when she was dressed up. But in this version, you know what? Chloe Grace Moretz, now she's 16. I'm not going to make pervy comments. When she turns 18, I might, but for now, no pervy. I guess what I really want to get across here is that she is a good actress. It's just like her physical appearance doesn't remind me or even come close to what Carrie really looks like. Carrie is just a normal looking girl. Chloe Grace Moretz does have very good looks. She looks like a model. She doesn't look like a normal person. I think the one person that really did steal this movie for me was Julianne Moore playing her psycho mom. And she did just this really good job of just being able to come into the scene, act like completely weird, quoting all sorts of crazy Bible verses, attacking Carrie, locking her in the closet. She just did a really good job convincing me that she was nuts. Now as for the rest of the characters in the movie, some of them did help support the main characters and some of them were pretty cool, but it was really kind of weird. Like Sue Snell, I did like how she tried to save Carrie. I also liked how some of the teachers, and I think this is different from the 70s one, the teachers, they were actually supporting Carrie as well. And you know what? That's pretty cool because that's kind of closer to what would happen in high school today. You're going to have like that one popular kid who says, you know what, screw you guys. I'm going to help this little girl. This is the helping finger. But what really kind of threw me off, like towards the end of the movie, like the Chris girl that was like against her the entire movie and was the one that kind of set up the prank in the end, she just kind of became homicidal at the end. And her boyfriend also was, was kind of a douche, but you know what? Then later he wanted to kill her. And usually in like a movie like this, you have like that natural progression for that to happen. however a natural progression it is for somebody to want to kill somebody else, I guess. Now in a movie like this where you do have an idea of what's going to happen in the end, you're expecting a really good build-up and then the ending to really kind of top everything off and give you a really good, gory feeling inside. Deep down. Now I really don't want to give a whole lot away about the end scene, but when I kind of compared it to, the 1999 and the 1970s version of Carrie, really the 1999 and the 1970s version, to me, had more gore in it. And maybe the director didn't want to have all that gore, maybe they didn't want to, overdo it too much in the end, but the movie kind of built up to that and it just didn't deliver on that fact. Now, does that make this movie a bad movie? No. Does it make it a movie that I'm going to tell you not to go see? No. I'm going to say that this movie is probably going to be somewhere between a 2 and a 2.5K. But you know what? I think I am going to give this movie a 2.5K. It's going to be a very strong 2.5K because of Julianne Moore's performance. So what I'm going to say about this movie is I think you guys should definitely wait for this one to come out on video when it comes into the red boxes. Rent it for $1. And you know what? When it becomes streaming, if you want to, have a really scary night with your friends, rent this one, but don't expect, the ending to be anything great. But I do think it's worth at least in your top 10. And thanks guys for watching my show. I really do appreciate all the viewers and subscribers that I do have at this time. Make sure to click over here on the posters if you want to see some of my past reviews. Click up above to subscribe and comment below. And you know what? I got a question for you guys today. CYK. Do you really like all these new reboots and remakes that we've been having over the past couple of years? Have there been any good ones? Have there been any bad ones? Let me know below. And you know what? Never forget, if you don't like what you're watching, you can always turn it off. Thanks, guys.